And we welcome you into the Friday walkthrough. Tony Caridi along with Coach Dwight Wallace as we get set for West Virginia and TCU. And as you can tell in the background, the inclement weather has already started to move its way in. First time this season that TCU has left the state of Texas. Weather could be a little bit autumnal, so to speak. Dwight, do you think that will be a factor?
Well, it could be, but you know, it's one of those things where you can't change the weather, and you always tell your kids to only worry about the things you can control. So you can't control the weather, but you can control the kind of cuts you're going to make on a bad field, how you're going to catch the front point of the ball. There's some things like that you always go over with the weather, but normally these kids, they go play. They've got gloves, they've got everything these days. In the old days, that was a different deal.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Okay, so one of the great quarterbacks in all of college football this season is Trevon Boykin for TCU. 21 touchdown passes, just 3 interceptions, and he can do a lot more than just beat you with his arm. He's got the ability to run with the football. What kind of a challenge does that pose to WVU's defense?
Well, that's the kind of challenge I think that coaches lose sleep over. When you go in on a Sunday and take a look at the film, if you haven't already seen it before, is that the first thing you ask is, does the quarterback run? And if he runs, then the second thing you ask, do they run the option? And the answer is yes, yes. So you know the defensive coaches have lost a lot of sleep because it's tough. If you want to bring pressure, you've got to find ways to bring the pressure, but also cover downfield. But if they've got that option, you can't be chasing guys around man coverage all the time if they're going to run option down the field too. So it does create some real problems, I think, for the defense. And we learned that years ago with Major Harris and some of the other guys we've had. But, yeah, a mobile quarterback is a challenge, and we've got a challenge this week.
On the other side, for West Virginia, this offense continues to improve week in and week out, but they're doing it differently than they have in the past. Now almost a 50-50 run to pass, in which Dana Holgorsen says, sometimes I look at myself and don't know who I am anymore. It has been an amazing transformation, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has. And you can tell, I know last week, just talking to Tony Gibson, he felt so strongly, but what happened in the third quarter when now the 15-minute quarter, 12 minutes, the offense keeps the ball. I mean, that takes a lot of pressure off your defense. And then the idea that it does balance you up, suddenly your passing game becomes a lot more effective too. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's really good. I think Coach Holgorsen's done a good job, and the offensive staff and what they're doing. Got a nice group of running backs there too. We go deep with them, and I think that presents a problem too when you can bring in a fresh running back late in the game.
Yeah. So just 3 years into the Big 12 experience, both West Virginia and TCU in contention for the conference championship, and the outcome of this game will go a long way in determining that. Our kickoff is set for 3:30. Our pregame coverage begins at high noon on the Mountaineers Sports Network. We invite you to join us along with Coach Wallace. I'm Tony Caridi here on the Friday Walkthrough.